Trump, as you saw there, dodging the question about whether he'll talk election meddling with Putin. Why do you think the president would not bring that up despite the intelligence community's assessment that not only did it happen, it is happening again ahead of the midterms?
Well, this is the $10,000 question. I mean, this question has been asked since the very beginning. What is Donald Trump so concerned about? Does he really think that using the law enforcement assets of the United States and agreeing with the intelligence community of the United States would delegitimize his presidency? Or is there something that he's hiding, which he doesn't want U.S. law enforcement and intelligence to not only investigate, he doesn't want them to share, and he doesn't want it in public? And so what's really interesting is he goes on, it's not even a tangent. He steps into a perception bubble of his own creation, which surprisingly sounds very much like Vladimir Putin's perception bubble of the world.
It seems as an observer that it's almost become a defensive reflex, that if you say election meddling and Putin, he says FBI, email servers, DNC. It's like almost a pre-programmed condition that the president has to say that. In his interview on Sunday, we know that the president implied that if Russia did meddle in our election, he said something odd. He said they must be proud. Watch this.
You know, if Russia is in fact looking to sow discord or chaos, they've got to be saying, this is the greatest thing we've ever done. Okay? Now, there's no collusion with me. There's no Russia with me. There's no nothing. Honestly, it's a disgrace.
So how does discrediting Russian meddling here help President Trump?
Well, it helps him greatly because what he's doing again is he's speaking, you know, he's only speaking to 40% of this population. He only rules. I mean, he only does policy for 40% of the population. But there is that nefarious suspicion that we have here. Why? As you said, why does he reflexively go to this? Why does he reflexively go to himself and not to the defense of the United States? He speaks the party line that comes from the Kremlin. And as I'm sure you're going to talk about Crimea here in a minute when you mentioned John Bolton. He, again, has been crafted by his experiences with the Russian. And that started with an enormous amount of money into his buildings and properties. Then when he went to Miss Universe in 2013, he was sat down by the 12 richest men of Russia, and they gave him his worldview. He has never strayed from that worldview, and it is not the worldview or the policy of any president of the United States until he's come on the scene.
Some of our viewers may not know the nuance of why Crimea and this position that Bolton took, as well as the president will see about Russia's annexation of it, is so significant. Explain to us why the fact that you have the National Security Advisor and the president saying that they are not definitively against Russia annexing another territory from another country by force is so problematic.
Well, it's absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, since the end of World War II, a war that we fought, we lost almost 500,000 men. The world lost 60 million people in that war. And we set about creating all of these alliances, systems, and treaties, which allowed us to work on the basis of the belief that invading another country's territory and seizing their land by crossing their borders and redefining those borders was against international law. Every president has upheld this. Donald Trump seems to be saying to Russia, again, from that perception that was given to him by the Russians, where he said, well, you know, most of the people in Crimea speak Russian, and essentially, that's why we invaded, and too bad for the world order. Donald Trump is giving them permission, and by him, through this conference, I hope at this summit, he doesn't just say, go ahead, keep Crimea, because that will set off the world. I mean, China could invade Taiwan within a week and use the exact same argument.
Our allies would certainly be very nervous as well to see the president shift his position on that. Malcolm Nance. Yeah, definitely more than nervous. Absolutely. Malcolm Nance, great to have you with us as always. Thank you.